Well, friend, today we'll be discussing the topic of sampling. Now, the idea or the objective to study the sampling is first one is this, to study the population. Now, we know that population is an aggregate of individual, and because of its large size, it may not be possible to study the entire population. So, we study the population on the basis of the sample data. The second objective is to provide correct method for drawing the sample. That means how to draw the sample. For that there are certain scientific methods. That is one of the objective. Let us see certain definitions or the terminology pertaining to the topic. First one is the population. As I told, population is an aggregate of individual or units or objects having at least one common characteristics. That means if we talk about the average height of the plant, height is a common characteristics. Second definition is the sample. Sample is a part or the fraction of the population for which we would like to draw certain information. Third one is the sampling. Sampling, it is a method or the process of selecting a sample from the population. Now, you must have studied certain methods of drawing a soil sample in the soil chemistry. So, whenever we want to take a part of the population, certain methods are to be followed. That is called the sampling. The fourth definition is the sampling unit. Now, it is the individual element or a group of elements on which observations are to be recorded. If you have a small plot on the field where the crop is grown, and if you are measuring the height of the plant from that unit, we called it as a sampling unit. Fifth definition is the parameter. Any measurable characteristic of population which is to be worked out by utilizing each and every observations. That is known as the parameter. Just like in case of mean, when we work out suppose the mu value, that is what we call the population mean, it is known as the parameter. Similarly, if the standard deviation is worked out, that is known as the sigma, that is also known as the parameter. And these parameters are generally unknown and constant. Sixth terminology is statistic. Now, any number estimated from the sample, for example, when you work out the average or the arithmetic mean or the standard deviation, they are known as the estimate or the statistic. Now, let us see the type of population on which we normally deals. There are basically four types of population: finite, infinite, real, and hypothetical. Let us see this definition or the types of population one by one. What we mean by finite population? Finite means the figure is fixed. So counting the individual in the population is possible. So it is known as the population. For example, in the garden, there are number of rose plants. You can count it. In the herd, there are number of animals which you can count. There are number of fruits in the trees which is possible to count. So that site of population we called as the finite population. Then infinite, where the counting is not possible or the impossible. So number of rose plant on the earth, if we talk about, which is not possible to count. So it is known as the infinite population. Third one is the real. When the population is exist in reality. For example, heap of food grains, herd of cows, they are the example of the real population. Then hypothetical. In reality, it did not exist. That means the member of population does not exist in reality. And the best example is the possible throw of a die. We know that there are 6 sides of the die. Similarly, yield of a new variety which is to be evolved. We do not know anything about what is the yield potentiality of the variety which will grow. So for that, when we assume certain value, we called it is from the hypothetical population. Now, what are the advantage for going sample study? First and the foremost is the less expensive. See, when you are dealing with the small part of the population, fraction of the population, naturally the time and the money which you are spending on that, it will be less because you require less manpower, less time. Second is, in a limited specific time, one can complete the entire project. That means it provides us the greater speed. Because of the small amount of work which we have to carry out, it needs less time. So it gives a greater speed. First one is less expensive, second is greater speed, third is with minimum technical person, one can study the problem. If you have to deal with the entire population, you require more manpower. But if at all you want to go for the sample study, you require less manpower. Then greater accuracy. More precise and accurate information regarding the population can be obtained because of the small size. Then fifth one is sample investigation can be carried out with minimum facility. If you don't have more facility, with a minimum facility you can complete the task. Sixth one is sample investigation is to be done when the unit is supposed to be destroyed while taking the observation. While drawing the sample, if some of the observation is destroyed, still you can carry out the work with the remaining sample. Now, as I told, to draw the sample, certain scientific methods are to be adopted. There are basically 6 sampling plan or the design available in the literature, which has been frequently used under the different situation. Out of these 6, in our syllabus, we have to discuss only the first one, that is simple random sampling. But just you have to see the name or remember the name of this 6 method. First one is simple random sampling, that is known as SRS method. Then stratified random sampling. Third one is multi-stage sampling. Fourth is cluster sampling. Fifth one is systematic sampling. And the sixth one is the purposive sampling. Many other methods are there in the literature, but these are the main 6 methods which people are using in the sampling study. Now, as I told, in our syllabus we have only first and the simplest method of drawing the sample, that is the simple random sampling. Now, in this simple random sampling, the main condition is the population should be homogeneous. And in this, the sample is selected in such a way that every member of the population has an equal and independent chance of being selected. So that is the first and the foremost condition, that the population should be homogeneous and we are giving equal chance to each and individual to be selected. Now, to draw the sample from the population, basically we are using 2 methods. One is using tickets or tags, and second is the random number tables. In tickets method, we usually prepared the chits based on the number of individuals which we want to draw, and from that randomly we are taking the chits with and don't replace it again. So those number which we are selecting, that will be our sample size. In random number, we are also using the tables which are available. Now, when we go for the sampling, we are liable to commit 2 kinds of error, and that is known as the sampling and non-sampling error. So, inaccuracy, that is nothing but the error in the collection of processing or analysis and interpretation of the data, we called it as a error, and that we can classify as I told, into two types of error, sampling and non-sampling. Let us see what we mean by sampling error. Sampling error is mainly present in the sample survey, because generally we conduct the survey with two different way. One is the sample survey and another is the census survey. Census survey, population census, when we do, each and information on each and individuals we take, and every 10 years we are going for the census survey. But this sampling error is always present in the sample survey, while it is completely absent in the census, because we are not going for the sampling. Now, the factors which are responsible for this error are, first one is the faulty selection of the sample. When you take the sample, suppose you want to draw the height of the maize plant, and by mistake you take the bajra plant, so that your selection of sample is wrong. Then substitution. When you are replacing the value with some other number which is not in the range of the sample which you are dealing, that also create the sampling error. Third one is the faulty demarcation of sampling unit. Now you have to deal with, say, 1 to 100 number, and you deal with 100 to 150 number. So you have wrongly demarcation the number. So that also create the sampling. Fourth one is error due to bias in the estimation method. You have not used the correct method and going for the wrong method, that will create the sampling error. And fifth and the important one is the variability in the population. As I told, simple random sampling should be used particularly when the population is homogeneous. But if it is not homogeneous, that will definitely create the sampling error. The second kind of error, that is non-sampling error, it is caused because of the human. So non-sampling error, they are not attributed to chance, that is the probability, and are consequences of certain factors which are within human control. And this particular error is present in both sample survey as well as census survey, because census is also been made by the human, so naturally that sort of error will be always present. There are 5 factors responsible to create this non-sampling error. Faulty planning. You have not planned the survey properly, that create the non-sampling error. Again, it is a man-made mistake. Vague and imperfect questionnaire. When the questionnaires are formed to get the information from the respondent, you have added certain questions which are not relevant to your study, that will create the non-sampling error. Third one is defective method of interviewing and asking the question. At a wrong time, at a wrong place, if you go for asking the question, suppose in the village, if you go in the morning where normally the people are busy with their farming operation, and if you start asking the question, they will not respond properly. Vagueness about the type of data to be collected, that is one of the important. And the fifth, that is personal bias. If the investigator is biased towards a particular result, naturally it will create the non-sampling error. Now, sixth one is lack of trained and qualified investigation. So if you don't have the qualified or the trained staff, they will not get the information properly, and it will create the non-sampling error. Seventh one is the failure of respondent memory to recall the event. That means if you have gone after, say, 5 years to get the information which particular crop he has sown before 5 years, he may not be able to remember. Then next one is non-response and inadequate or incomplete response. Sometimes the respondent are not ready to give the proper answer, so this error creates it. Improper coverage. You have to cover the entire district, and instead of that you take only few talukas, that will definitely create the non-sampling error. Then while compiling the information, if you forget to add certain information, that is comes under the compiling errors. And last one is in the publication. When you prepared the report and if you have not gone through or if you have not edited properly, that will also create the non-sampling error. Thank you very much.